is where they're asking the real estate commission is going to govern certain people, meaning if these people mess up when we're dealing in real estate, the real estate commission has the duty or the power to go after these people by either filing a complaint, penalizing them, revoking, taking away their license, or suspending them. There's a group of people that the Real Estate Commission doesn't have power to do that, and that's what we're talking about here. Who of the following is not governed by the Real Estate Commission? So I'm going to be reviewing it, and then we'll come back and look at the questions. So these are the examples of the people who don't need a real estate license. They are probably going to be performing real estate transactions in terms of buying, selling, or leasing, but they're not governed by the Real Estate Commission. They're definitely governed by the state laws and maybe whomever they work for. So if I go through this, hopefully when you see the question presented differently, then this review here will help you. The first person or the first two groups are the judge has said that the house needs to be sold. Whomever that's going to be doing that, coming from the government point of view or because of the order from the judge, then whomever that's facilitating that wholesale of the property, that person doesn't have to be licensed. And why? This person is working for the court system, so they're definitely bound by the rules under the court system and Maryland state laws. But the Real Estate Commission doesn't have the power to go after these people because they're already being supervised by another entity within the government. So the court order, the judge has said the property needs to be sold, or a judgment, you owe people money and they filed a civil suit, now the house has to be sold. Whomever that's doing that doesn't have to have a real estate license. Public officers performing office duties. You work for Baltimore County government. Baltimore County government is looking for an office space that they want to use. You're the one who's going to be finding that office space for them. You don't have to be licensed. You're working for Baltimore County government, so that's number 2. Number 3 is you right now. I'm not included in this because I already have a license. You right now can buy your own house, can sell your own house. You do not need to have a real estate license, but still, you cannot, for example, discriminate against whom you're going to sell the house to, because fair housing is a state law, not really a real estate license law. So hopefully that helps in number 1, 2, and 3. Feedback or comments so far in the top 3. Same thing on the power of attorney. You've been given the power for you to be a universal agent. You do not need to have a real estate license. Auctioneer is the one that trips up a lot of us because they're auctioning a real estate property. They should be licensed. Yes, they're licensed as auctioneers. They do not need a real estate license. So an auctioneer is licensed for them to auction. Wonderful. They're governed under those laws. They do not need to have a real estate license. And the last one, somebody has passed away and now you're taking care of that estate. You do not need to have a real estate license. This next list is going to sound similar, but there are differences. This list is people who don't need a real estate license, but they are under the Real Estate Commission rules in terms of following the Brokers Act and the Real Estate Commission Code of Ethics, even if they're not licensed. So this is where if Wells Fargo has a property that now they're going to be selling themselves because they got it as foreclosure, Wells Fargo doesn't need to have a real estate license. They don't need to hire me to sell that property. They can just sell it themselves. However, they still need to follow Maryland law. For example, if the property has condo rules, Wells Fargo still needs to provide me the rules that come along with the condo association. A lawyer who does not advertise or do real estate business. What are we talking about there? You're going through a divorce. he, she, or is getting the property, and whomever that's getting the property, the divorce attorney is helping that particular transaction. That's not their main business. Their main business is family law. It's just that real estate got involved, especially when we're talking about a divorce. New construction, new builder, Ryan Homes, Bazzuto Homes, they don't need to have a real estate license. They have their own license as builders. Property management, you do not need to have a real estate license. And when you are helping somebody transfer business, I have a business for printed t-shirts. You found somebody to take over my business. I have a space that I leased. You're helping me find someone. I don't need to have a real estate license. And the last one, I am helping you break apart a piece of property into smaller pieces, especially when you're working with a developer. I can do that for you, still get compensated for my work, but I don't need to have a real estate license as long as we're not selling more than 6 lots a year. I don't know where 6 came from, but that's the number. Feedback, how do we feel about that review? Questions, comments? Okay, so if you look at this question, who of the following are not governed by the Real Estate Commission? It will end up being all the above. An auctioneer is licensed for their auctioning business. Public officers governed by a different set of rules, not the Real Estate Commission. And then you, when you are selling your own property, you're not governed by the Real Estate Commission. So the answer to this question is all of the above.